All right, welcome back, everybody. Another episode. It's Dave here. And as you can see, I have been working on the lighting for the... I'm just going to start calling this thing the secondary hull, because it's basically part engine room, part secondary hull, part whatever you want to call it. So anyway, and I've got the navs here and the strobe here, and I've got the turned on there. There, you can almost see it, but let's go with this. All right, right there. Come on, let's go back here. Oh, it doesn't want to focus now, does it? Doggone it. Did it focus there in the end? It did. It took it a minute, but it did. Anyway, there we go. So, yeah. That's going to be one of the navs. So that's going to be a steady flasher. All right. Yeah, one side is red, one side is green. I think it's left side, port side is red, starboard side is green. So, and these are going to be the strobes. Now, let's do this, hopefully. Don't mind me. Everything is just the right amount of fancy. There we go. Oof, goodness gracious. So anyway, and here we have what is going to be the strobes. Now, right now, it's just, I got it solid, but that's what's going to be, that's going to be the flashing thing there. And I've got these done on both sides of the port side of the secondary hull / engine room. And so you see I've got, there we go, stupid. All right, so yeah, so there's no light bleed. Got these done. Got the navs done. And let's go back here. Whoop, wrong way. Anyway, so got that done. And so yeah, I've just decided, instead of calling them the wings, I've decided to call them the secondary hull. Now, that's the navs and the strobe. The other ones I'm going to do is for these engine parts here, which I'm going to use my flickering LEDs. I love these 3mm flickerers. These are what I used in turn this light back off. So yeah, these flickering ones are what I used in the Millennium Falcon and the Star Destroyer. And these are going to go back here, back in this part. So yeah, that's going to go back there on both sides. So that's going to be the flickerer side. And then I'm going to use plain blue 3mm LEDs, and they're going to go up here. I'm just using the flickering one because I got it already hooked up. Now the main engines are going to be solid blue. But that's, yeah, the main engine is going to be solid blue, and the rear ones are going to be the flickering blue here. And yeah, cameras really wash out red and blue colors for the most part. Anyway, so that's my plan for the other part. So that's what I'm going to be working on this time around, is working on these engine LEDs and getting them wired in. Come on, you get out there. And so yeah, that's my plan. That's my plan. And that's what we're going to be working on for this this section of the build is going to be the secondary hull. I've still got this side to do. But once I get this done, then I'll know how to do this side and get it taken care of fairly quickly. And that way we can move on to the main hull and scratching all these windows out. And I've got these little doodads here that I made. Come on, yeah, these little doodads here that there's going to be a red LED behind this, and it's going to shine through the front here. And those go, where's the thing at? These go up here in this part. And I know I've showed you on the box a few times, but it basically goes this part here. Yeah, so basically it goes right there. I might have it backward. I think I have it backwards. Just flip it upside down there. Flip it upside down. And put it... Nope, I had it right the first time. Okay, so it does stick out a little bit, so I'm still trying to get the angle of the dangle type of thing, you know what I mean? So anyway, it's going to go right there. And I'm going to have a little red LED behind it, and it's going to shine through the front here. Get this. It's going to shine right through the front there. And it's another one that I made a resin copy of, that I can just scratch the little openings that the light's going to come out without messing with the rest of it. So, yeah. So I've got that to do on both sides, because it has one on either side of the, and they will be little tiny red lights, but they'll, I'll have the LED back there. But anyway, I haven't figured out quite what I'm going to do yet. But that's one thing. And so anyway, that's what I've gotten so far. Gotten these wired, just the navs and the strobes so far. I got to work on the engine part, the flickering part, and then the solid part up here. And yeah, that's what I've got going on so far. So we will be back with another update. Bye. All right. Well, got a little more going. I got the engine lights going. Yeah, and I got LEDs. I got this to run. It's running at 12 volts because that Tenna controls board can run at 9 or 12. So, but yeah, got some light blocking to do, but between the halves, but that's not a problem. But yeah, both sides. That's the top. Yeah, a little bit of light blocking. When I glue it together, I'll have to work on the seams, but yeah. But that's kind of what I'm looking at right there. There's 4 LEDs. Let's see if I can get this apart real quick. There's 4 LEDs, those blue ones. There we go. Four LEDs, 2 resistors. So I can run 2 LEDs per resistor. I can actually run more than that because I did a test. But anyway, so this is what I did here. Come on now. Oh, let me turn it off real quick so you can see. I don't know. So yeah, that's how I did it. Positive, negative, you know, with a resistor per, each two has its own resistor. And using my favorite connectors, just drilled a little hole in that little bulkhead right there. Come on now. That little bulkhead right there. That's what I run my wiring through out of this part. So this part is done. So I've got the engine light, at least on the port side of the, all I got to do is the main engine lights and that little red thing I was talking about earlier. But that's what it did. Like I said, I'll have to do some, you know, seam work, you know, once I get it together, once I'm finished doing everything and I'm happy with it and I go to glue it together, I'll have to do some seam work on it, you know, but other than that, it's done as far as that goes. A little hot glue to hold it in. Yep. There you go. All right, so I finally got this one side wired. It's not together. I haven't sealed it up yet because there's other stuff I got to do before I'm commit to sealing it up. But anyway, so I got the little little board here. Let me see here. Let's turn this way. All right, so I got the little board here, the nav and strobe board, and I've just got it kind of tentatively wired together. So it's kind of a chore. Like I said, it's just kind of held together. It's not, I haven't sealed it up and glued or anything. So there's going to be lots of light leaks and whatnot. Let me get this out of the way here. Put this over here. But yeah, this is the nav and strobe board, as well as I've got all the engine lights and everything else. Now this little jumper here, you can change the timing of the strobes. So let's go. Let's hook it up. Let's hook it up. Let's tear the band-aid off. All right, I'm gonna turn this off. So as you can see, let me get this over here. All right, let's go. So I've got the strobes and the nav on both sides. And like I said, now the navs, they don't, you can't change the timing on the nav, just the strobe, at least with this board anyway. I've got the front of the engines there, as well as the back here. I kind of like the double strobe. And like I said, the navs, they stay one time. Oh, and I got that little thing up here too. I'm still working on it, but it's a work in progress. But I just kind of, like I said, I got it all, everything's wired, all the resistors are in there, because you have to run resistors with this nav board. The board itself doesn't have the resistors. You have to run on the bulbs like you would if you were just wiring it straight. I'm hoping maybe at some point he'll make a nav and strobe board that God, my camera's trying to get this. But anyways, so yeah, you can change the timing of this by moving the jumper. So, but you have to unplug it to move the jumper. You can't plug it in. So that one that I just had is just the double flash timing. This here is the... Now this is designed for the Enterprise. So, but I figured it would go good with this too. And so yeah, let me wire this back together real quick. So the one I had obviously was the double flash. And the only thing, like I said, the only thing you can change is the timing of the strobes. So this is the original series timing on the strobes. Okay, let's move it again. So let's see, third notch. This one is the Enterprise D and E timing. Okay. Let's see. And let's see. This is the Enterprise Refit Reliant Voyager timing. Just a little bit quicker. The Enterprise D and E timings. This is just a faster single flash. Okay, and let me do something here real quick. And this last one is supposedly you have to add another jumper here. Okay, for this last one. And this is supposedly the Enterprise and Grissom timing. So let's see. Yeah, just a little bit different single. And it looks like it stops the navs from flashing too. So anyway, let me get that off of there. And but like I said, I kind of like the double flash, you know, the JJ prize, I guess you could call it. But I just thought that these navs and strobes would look good on this as well. And so yeah, I like the double flash. And so yeah, got that one side wired up. Got the blue gets washed out in here. It's not nearly that bright, believe me. And the front engine part there, as well as this. I've still got some touch-ups to do on this, but again, the camera washes out with the red too. So anyway, but yeah, so I've got the one side done. As far as wired, it's just, like I said, it's just basically just barely held together. But yeah, that's my plan. I'm gonna have a strobe down here on the bottom of this too, which I got to do. And so there you go. I'm gonna start working on the other side there, get it all done, and then we'll be back, and I'll hook it all back up again to show you the, you know, yeah, that just looks cool as shit. I'm sorry, I think it does. I like the double strobe. I really do. Anyway, so let me get going back on to doing the other one. And we will be back and I'll hook it all back up and show you the full thing. All right. Okay. Finally, after a lot of cussing and whatnot, I finally got all the lights working and I got it all buttoned up. I've still got a few light leaks here and there that I can, because I still got a little bit of puttying to do, but I got some light leaks here, and over here, and there's a few, let's see, there's some back here that you can't see because I got this thing, but it's essentially glued together. So yeah, I got everything working. All the strobes are working. You can see, well, let me zoom out real quick. Whoop, zoom out. So yeah, the strobe underneath is working. All you're seeing is the reflection there, but it's working. With the other two strobes, I got the nabs working. Buttoning this thing up, and corralling the wires. As much as I tried to minimize the amount of wiring, I've got what, 2, 4, 6, 8. There's 4 LEDs in here, 3 LEDs in here, so I've got a lot of LEDs. As well as these ones here, in the front. But these are also the ones that I made castings, resin castings. These ones and these ones, I made resin castings pretty much like I did with the main body. But anyway, so here we are. I've got to take some tape off there. I had put tape down when I clamped it together, and yeah. So yeah, it's all glued together. Got all the lights working. Everything's working. So yeah, and I'm pleased with it so far. I have to put it in this dim light because if I shut the lights off altogether, the blue drowns everything else out. So this little bit dimmer light, it doesn't, But these ones here were a little bit of a challenge, but not too bad. But the biggest challenge was getting all the wiring all done up and just out to these four that come out. Because you got the main power and then you've got the nav and strobe wires for the board. But yeah, other than a few paint touch-ups and some light blocking, this part of the build is essentially done. I still got a little, like I said, a little bit of paint touch-ups, maybe a little bit of puttying, and yeah. So this part is essentially, aside from odds and ends, it's just done. I can get started on the main hull part. But I'm pleased with how this turned out. It may not be aesthetically as far as the paint and some of the other things, but the main thing that was the lighting. I wanted the lighting to work the way I wanted it to work, and so far it is. So yeah, I'm happy with it. So again, onward and upward. Got to get working on the main hull now, which hopefully shouldn't be quite as, other than the paint, I'm going to have to try to recreate this paint scheme as best I can anyway. It's probably not going to be exact. It is what it is. I wanted to try something, and I did. And for the most part, I'm pleased with it, but it didn't turn out exactly the way I wanted. But for the most part, it turned out pretty much. But like I said, the main thing was doing the resin castings for these parts on this part, and then getting all the lights in there and get them working, getting it buttoned up, and have everything still working after buttoning it up. Because if something stops working or something happens, I'm screwed. Because yeah, tearing this thing apart is not an option. So I'm hoping that you know, everything keeps working all the way to the end. But all right, so like I said, I'm at a stopping point here. I wanted to get this all done before I started on the main hull. And basically, like I said, aside from paint touch-ups that I'm going to have to do once I get it all together, this is the stopping point as far as this goes. So anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed, and the next time you see me, we will be working the paint scheme as close as I can. I will be using the same colors, so it'll match, but maybe not exactly. And so don't kill me on the paint thing, because it was something I was going to try, and I wanted to see how it was going to turn out, and for the most part, I'm happy with it. So if I ever do this model again, I'll know whatever. But chances are this thing is actually kicking my butt a little bit. It's a relatively simple model. It's only got like 40 some parts to it altogether, but everything that I'm doing to it has made it so much more complicated than it needed to be, you know, with these lights and everything. But, that's why we do these projects. Anyway, I will talk at you later.